ring here, and they was good, so after they was when they did prayer.
Is that right?
Everybody would go down the knees and have prayer. Well, they were a good family.
Well, that's what I always heard too. And you know, Nancy Spaine found one of the babies' little tombstone under the fence down at the cemetery. She dug it out, and it's just a little long stone there in that room last night. You saw it, and it was just scratched in. It wasn't really chiseled, you know, with the information, but it was one of the Godfrey babies. And I don't remember the date that it bears right now. You remember that? Yeah, it was in the 1890s.
I don't know the oldest, but I think it's Adrian. It's the oldest. Adrian and Raz.
No, it's you.
Yeah, you. He was the oldest.
You.
You. Then Adrian and Raz.
And
Bird. Ernest was a baby.
Right, big family of them, wasn't it? Well, now, were they the only Godfreys that lived down in there, or were there more than one family of Godfreys that lived?
That's the only ones I ever met.
Is it possible that Mr. Godfrey's parents had lived there and that they were the ones that we're talking
about?
Oh, so it was this Godfrey that we were talking about then, and the swap. Well, I didn't know, how it would have come in, but another name I want to ask you about that, you named the Huskins. They were still up here whenever you went to school. Did they live at the Miles Abernathy house up here? Oh, they had been there. Well, those people.
We had a road go through the woods over there, and we'd come out up here at Mr. Huskins' pasture, and he would be standing there. We'd be scared to death of him. He was an old man with long whiskers, We were so scared, but we had to come through the pasture and get to the road, so we'd go on down to the schoolhouse.
Well, his wife was a tough old girl too, wasn't she?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Grandpa Rankin, built that house that Isabel lives in years and years ago.
Is that right?
Grandpa Samuel Rankin, my grandmother Elliott's father. And he had some dealings with them, and I thought from some of the language the old lady used in Grandpa's presence that she was pretty tough. But I'll tell you an interesting thing. I tried to run some of their deeds a while back down at the courthouse, and that name is spelled, now we say Huskins, here, but it's also spelled Haskins, and it's spelled Hastins, and every which way you can think of down at the courthouse. I think the man couldn't write, and he'd go down and tell him his name, and whoever was writing the deed spelled it the way it sounded to them, and it's about 5 or 6 spellings for that one name down there.
They call him Huskin. How would you think that would be spelled?
That's it. But that's right, Huskins is all I ever heard.
That's all I ever heard too.
But it's spelled Haskins and every which way. I'll show it to you, Jeff. I copied down all the spellings because I was all for the same property,
Haskins is the way I thought it was.
I do too.
Then I reckon it was his daughter or somebody lived there. What had children? One of the girls is named Noli, and one named Lucy, and one named Lou. I guess it was something else, but they called her Lou all the time. She was pretty. She could be smart.
I was afraid she wasn't Husky.
Huh?
I was afraid David Ferguson.
Verdicts. Oh yeah, Naaman.
Naaman Verdicts.
Yeah.
I never heard of them before. Did they live over there very long?
Then I guess Mr. Ferguson married Huskins' daughter.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
That's I come in and Huskins get that place.
Oh, I see.
After Huskins died, and then got the place.
Mm-hmm. What did they sell to Miles Abernathy? The descendants sell to Miles Abernathy.
Miles bought.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know, but that house he lived in must have been an awful old house. Was that the house that Huskins lived in?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It's been added on to a good bit, hadn't it?
I ended up buying no long.
That's what I figured. You know where we're talking about now, right where Garmin McCall's house is. There was an old house. I think it maybe set kind of in front of where Garmin's new house is, didn't it?
Yeah. Pretty close to the same place.
Mm-hmm. It was an old place when I was a child, I can remember. Well, I want to ask y'all something else. At Daddy's house, there's a 1910 soil conservation map. I didn't try to bring it today because it's so big that I'll probably end up bringing it over here later to ask you about some of the places. There's a dot on it for every house and store and school in the county at that time. And down there in front of Isabel's house, or right along in there near where your school was, there's about 4 dots on the map. What all was down in there around the school? Were there some little tenant houses, or was there a store, or?
It's right about the schoolhouse. It seemed like there's a building behind there. I'm not sure. I know there's some farther down, but I don't think you could see them.
Didn't the schoolhouse sit just about where Blanche's little house was on that corner? That's what I thought. Well, that's where there's several dots, and I didn't know what they stood for.
That's where I got the prize for writing better in any of these schools.
Well, good for you. What was your prize?
4 handkerchiefs.
Well, how not? Oh, you're proud of those too, weren't you?
Oh, I was just so proud of them, I didn't know what to do.
Oh, I know you
And
were.
what I had to write said, a boy can run fast.
Is that right? Well, I declare, did you get your writing entered in the fair then?
No.
I declare. Well, Miss Florence, I know where you were raised. Did your mother and daddy start their married life over there at that place? Or had they lived someplace else before?
As far as I know, they did.
Where did that land come from? Do you know? Well, now, I believe, do you remember Cousin Laura Flanagan?
Yep, heard of her.
Well, she told me that she was born at the old Sam Loing house, and that it stood where that the office for the golf course over here. You remember that little place under the trees up there?
Yeah.
I don't know whether that was the house or whether it had been built, but she said that she was born at that place, that it was the Sam Loing house. And I just wondered if that was your Sam Loing.
Several houses around in the neighborhood, old houses. It's been torn down and done away with. I know where I was born, it's up here on Long Street.
Whereabouts, Mr. Sid? What would it be near today?
Yeah, well, Mr. Woods lived.
Yeah.
Right straight behind him, back down the pure road, wagon road, went through towards the creek down there. It's got a big flat rock.
Is that right?
That's the old house been torn down.
Well, I declare. And who had lived there before you all lived there? Have you any idea?
Yeah, this small little house.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, where was your daddy raised?
I don't know. He died when
I know he died when you were little.
I was 4 or 5 years. About 4 years.
You didn't know whether he was raised around here or whether he just lived in here because of marrying into the...
No, they lived around here. I had one sister, Nancy Ann Griffin.
Nancy Ann Griffin?
Sidney Ann. That's who I was named after.
Oh, really? Sidney Ann? Is that right?
They lived up there. The last time I heard them, they lived up there in what to call it, Joe King's place.
On Baseball Road, where Joe King ran the store.
Around the old store there.
Yeah.
They lived right back in. And they left years ago and went to Mississippi, and that's the last anybody else.
Is that right? And that was your daddy's sister?
They Grandma Nixon died, and they left out pretty soon after she died.
Where's your grandmother Nixon buried? You don't have any idea? Uh-huh.
Stranger, maybe.
Might be. Mm-hmm. I just didn't know. I never have looked because I never thought about it. I've maybe seen the name up there and didn't realize who it was your day. You don't know what your Grandma Nixon's name was by any chance, do you?
No.
Or your Grandpa Nixon? I think it can be traced easily enough since they lived around here.
And Daddy died, I found him Dr. Ed Collins, but
He did at that old house.
Collins, back to Collins, but
Yeah. What was it? A little house on the place where y'all lived?
yeah, the old house still there.
Is that right?
Out in the field, you can see it from Caldwell State.
Is that right? Well, I declare. Then you grew up with that story about Dr. Caldwell, didn't you? And the slave woman. You remember that story? I won't go into it now, but he raised a set of children to her, the slave woman. And some of the...
About them William Ted.
Uh-huh. They were Gastons, weren't they?
Yes.
I think, weren't they Gastons?
Red Kids.
That's what I thought. They were Gastons, and some of them did. I grew up around some of them that married Harvard.
Susan. She raised her family right.
Was her name Susan? I didn't know what her name was. Said he stood up on the woodshed or something and watched them take her body to the grave. You remember that? He didn't go to the funeral, but I heard that he stood on the woodshed and watched the funeral procession going toward the Negro church, wherever her funeral was, or where she's buried.
Yeah, I can't remember how she lived with us. I remember seeing her.
I bet you do too, because I guess she probably lived till, what, 1900 about, didn't she?
I speak to her.
Do you remember Dr. Caldwell?
I don't know. Mom about going down there, time to and my daddy.
Uh-huh. You were awfully small to remember that. Where did you move from? So that's where your daddy died,
My
Dave.
daddy died and we got in Sheffield.
Where'd you live out here?
We moved down there. I can't swear. I moved another house below the where John Robert got
Yeah.
some fish ponds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He lived in the car house at
Mm-hmm.
kind of my car. 16
Mm-hmm.
Colorado.
Oh, yeah. And were you kin to them? The Spurriers in any way?
My mother was a half sister that lived.
Well, no, I guess I knew that. Oh, yes, I did. It's on that little slip of paper I left at home. Yeah, I did know that. I forgot
She
now.
got more was married twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a child
That's right.
that my sister.
That's right. Samuel Alton. Or Powell one. I forget which one was first. I don't remember which one she married first. Has Jeff shown you those Civil War letters I gave him? Jeff, you bring them up here and read them to your granddaddy right away. One of my, let me put this thing on pause, Jeff, so I won't be wasting your tape for this, but okay. Yes, funny. But anyway, I want you to enjoy those because it does make mention of those Altons. Who was the other sister? Lizzie, and there was another girl.
And Lizzie was the only girl that was person there.
I was thinking there was two of them. I was thinking there was a Pell, but one that married a Pell or something, wasn't it?
That was grandma's sister who married Van.
Van Pelt, that's the name I was thinking about. Uh-huh. Well, now, how just your mother and you all lived at Shuffletown?
Yeah.
How long did y'all stay up there?
I don't know how long it was. 1 year now.
Mm-hmm. Where did she ever meet the fellow Whitlow?
Mr. Francis when my daddy died, his neighbor,
Is that right? Uh-huh.
he lived right across in Florence.
Oh, I see. So she already knew him. Uh-huh. And y'all, how come you live at Mount Morn, though? Or did you live at Mount Morn?
I know we did.
Oh, that was the Whitlow home that was at Mount Morn. Uh-huh. Well, now, where did y'all live after they married then?
Well, I just bummed around one place.
Yeah. Well, now, at what point?
I had no home and nowhere to go.
Yeah, what happened? Was it after she married Whitlow that you all went to Berium Springs?
No, we went to South Bell France. And I stayed up there only 2 or 3 years. I got big enough to fire off logs on one day.
Mm-hmm.
Home and work for him.
Oh, uh-huh.
So I come down and stayed out logs
Uh-huh.
2 or 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, now, did your mother have any children by the second marriage? I didn't think she did.
She's in her 50s, I think.
Was she that old when she married him? I didn't know.
Yes, she, I guess, maybe 6.
Uh-huh. Well, now, what about this place? When did your mother get it?
This place.
Uh-huh. Didn't your mother own this place?
Uh,
Oh, she did not. Oh, I was mistaken.
It must have been these place over here, she's from John Finn's place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's maybe her death, and after her death, went back to work.
Oh, I see.
No, I bought this after I was married.
Oh, you did? Who did you buy this from?
This off the doctor.
Uh-huh. Well, now, do you have any idea how much of this area around here was Elliott land?
Well, this place, I think, is back over here where I used to have in Paris.
Behind here? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be an old house place back over in the woods. Old well still over there.
Is it really over in this direction?
And behind the barn back over.
Well, you know, Cousin Laura Flanagan told me that she came to school over there, and so had her daddy, to George Elliott. George Elliott never married. He was the son of, he was a brother to the blind woman that lived up there behind Dr. Sam's. You've heard of them, I know. Blind Betsy.
That's where Dr. Sam home to Dr. Sam Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to keep and blind in for the farm.
Yeah. There was 2 of them blind, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. I heard he wasn't any too good to them. Miss Cornelia Alexander told me that his older kids would come to school and make light of moving the rocks. They had rocks laid beside the spring, you know, so they could feel their way. Now, 2 blind women living alone, imagine back then. And then you got to feel their way to the spring, and they moved the rocks and such stuff, trying to make them fall in the spring and stuff like that. His older kids did.
Oh, house down there.
I don't know. I've never gotten to go back in there. I'd like to go see. But now I guess then he could.
Spring with it. Down there when we lived up there.
Was it really? Was the old house you say was still there then too?
Full of black lived in old house, but no longer.
Well, now Leonard drew me a picture of it too. I believe, didn't Dana's family live in it at one time too?
Yeah, but he did.
He drew me a picture of it. It must have sat right up on a square hill, from what I hear, steep
He
hill.
was sitting down kind of on the side of the hill.
Uh-huh. Well, now that's where our original Elliott that came in here bought in 1762. That was his place. And, or this land was his, I'll put it that way. I don't know whether his son Andrew lived in the same house he lived in or not, whether that was the original Elliott house or not. But I have never run the deeds back to see, but I suspect that the son George, he could have either gotten this land from his father or he maybe bought it from somebody else, but that's how Dr. Sam got it. I guess George, this one, left all his land to his sisters. And all the land that belonged to the other brothers and sisters went back to the girls, you know. And then they were Betsy, you know, was the last one to live. So I guess that's how Dr. Sam got it all.
That place back here, this land here, of course, my son had about 400 acres we got on it. It could have been 50 different places.
Could have been. Mm-hmm.
Not that, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because the land, I thought it was told about that house right over there. It's finally, I don't know who they owned it. Just moved off and left, and Dr. Sam paid tax on it for so many years and got it.
Just took it over. Mm-hmm.
Took so many acres, 35, 40 acres.
Well, I'm clear.
And this part of this land here come off the Huston place. He was a doctor, and he had a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so much of the land.
He was right much of a character, wasn't
He kind of feel feather.
Right, that's what I thought. Mr. Wade Alexander told me that, or told Betty a number of years ago that of course, everything that this Elliott woman had left over there went to Dr. Sam, furniture and everything, And Dr. Sam took a lot of it to Montreat. He bought a place at the Presbyterian Assembly ground at Montreat back about the turn of the century. And you know that there's a beautiful old piece of furniture up there that's not quite as wide as your couch, but it's made out of wood. It's a settee. And the seat of it opens up. It's a chest. And Mr. Wade says the story is that the Elliott's brought their belongings to America in that chest, or in that settee. And it's in good shape. I tried to buy it, but the people that own the place now, the house has just been sold, furnishings and all, down through the years up there at Montreat, and nobody wants to sell it, but I'd really love to have it, for that reason. And Miss McNeil, like I say, lives down at Dunn, North Carolina, and Larry and I went down years ago one Sunday afternoon to see her. And she had one of the old beds that the Elliots had made, and it was the most interesting thing because it was made out of maple and pine, I believe. And every post was a different size. It was hand carved, and it was just as crude, and every one of them was, a different size. It really showed the age on it. Well, Jeff, I knew I was talking nuts. Can you think of a few on that day, Randy? So many things that we want to know. Well, Jeff and I were talking about the church. You say you helped build the old church.
Yeah, we all know.
Where did you sawmill those logs?
Some else background, several different things back in all the timber and people usually the number they just cut out all the timber.
Now, how long did it take to build that church?
Well, because wasn't too old at that time, they much came to retire. Quince Campbell built it.
Oh, he did? I heard his name. Well, how long did the old church stand across the road over there after y'all started using the new church?
Not long.
Why'd you tear it down?
So, going through rock college. Foundation still laying out there.
Yeah, Leonard and I look at those every time we were down there for a funeral. He'll say, now that's the corners for that church, and I'm like him, I think something ought to be done so that we'd know what they are.
Well, what did that thing look like on the inside, that old one? Do you remember?
Oh, it had, well, like mine, we have Sunday school, little ones have Sunday school class up in the left-hand corner next to the pulpit. And they were just slab seats, no back, and then just benches like. I don't know now what kind of seats they had. Just pretty rough one.
It wasn't sealed in, I don't think, was it?
I don't know. I believe it was.
Was it? Who fired the stove on Sundays?
As soon as they get that first.
That it built a fire and had it going for everybody else. Did you have preaching at a certain time back then, Mr. Sid, or just kind of when everybody got together?
Well, I had certain Sundays. The preacher had about 4 or 5 churches back then. And so one Sunday out of every month, you'd have preaching. That was followed on up to I don't know how many years it was in the other churches. We had 4 churches at one time.
That's right.
Trinity and Pleasant Grove and
One Hickory Grove on it.
there was one time they switched around, changed churches first.
Well, did you ever go to church at Mole Hill?
No, I remember the old church, so
What did it look like?
it just looked like an old
So church.
Just a plain old building.
just plain old building.
Well, was it ever used for a schoolhouse also, or was it always just a church?
Church.
Mm-hmm.
They started to put a good little graveyard out there. Like that whole plan done. Yeah, that whole evening was
Well, did they dig any of those graves up? Are they on that little hill between Mary Bell's and Bland's, or?
rather down in that little low place. And
So he is built on it, isn't he? Well, whose arm was that was buried up there?
That's just what I was going to say.
Who's?
Frank Raven,
Frank Rayburn. That's right. What happened to him?
he's dead now.
Mm-hmm.
Last heard that he was living down there in Cool,
Oh, is that right? Uh-huh.
North Cool, down at Thomasburg.
Mm-hmm. But he wasn't buried with his arm, was he? Why did he get hurt in a farm accident?
I say a tree fell on him and he broke his arm and Doc said, put his hands on and saw his bone.
Mm.
It'd been today, a while later. And when they could save his arm.
I know what.
Same way with Parks death, his leg.
Mm-hmm.
He got broke up over on the Florence cottage here.
Is that what happened? I didn't remember.
I took him down at the old Dunn place and said, laid him down on the porch and took a saw and sawed his
Well, Claire.
leg off.
You mean at Mr. Alvey's place? Is that right?
Some leg off.
Well, I declare. Wonder if they had anything to kill the pain in, what they used.
I don't know,
Give them a good swig of liquor.
whiskey.
I imagine so. Put them out of it a while. They'd need to drink a lot of it before they ever got healed up, wouldn't they? That was awful.
Well, people didn't have nothing to do with it.
I know they didn't. Well, Mr. Sid, I've often wondered what became of the records from, surely there were some attendance records kept from Mole Hill Church, rolls anyway, and wonder whatever became of them.
And this, people didn't talk about keep stuff like that.
Yeah. Who were some of the ones who were active down there at Mole Hill?
Well, Mr. Frank Simpson was kind of the main one.
Oh, he was?
All up to Mr. John Todd took over.
Now, which John Todd was that?
That was married up Lloyd down sister.
Uh-huh. John L. Todd. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Name,
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just thinking, John L. Todd lived, didn't he, where Abe Leeson? Huh?
he built up there at the house Craig Dunn lived.
Where Craig Dunn lived so long, that's what I thought. Looked like he'd have gone to Pleasant Grove instead of Mole Hill, didn't it? Wonder how come him to go to Mole Hill.
He never was more than I know.
Oh, you were talking about the ones that were the leaders at Pleasant Grove. At Pleasant Grove, uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't mind not who these were more.
Was Mole Hill kind of out of existence whenever you came along?
I've heard of several names, but I can't call them.
Uh-huh. But it wasn't, they weren't having services there whenever you came along anyway, were they? Uh-huh. Do you remember the Mr. Farrell? D. Farrell preached it.
Farrell, I heard that he preached there on
Yeah, and he's buried at our cemetery. I saw his grave not long ago down at our cemetery. I was mixed up at the time. I was.
Somebody else, I can't know. Can't call his name.
There must not ever been any markers at those graves because
Just rock.
just rocks. Well, wonder if Newton Jackson knew that when he built that house where Bland lived.
I imagine somebody told him.
You know, really, it's illegal to. You're supposed to move graves. Of course, if you don't know if you didn't know where they were exactly, I guess you couldn't move them. But I hate to build on cemeteries where people are buried. Yeah. Why don't you tell us about that?
I don't have all I wrote down. I just said,
Okay. Now give me your names in order in your family. Okay.
Wasn't Hattie the oldest?
Hattie, and Zelda, Maribel, and then me, Norman, then Dial.
Oh, you had a brother.
Letters not on that picture.
He died.
Just small.
What was his name? Dowd?
Down.
Who did Hattie marry?
She moved
She never married.
When did she?
She died when she was about, 18.
Oh. Now, she buried at Pleasant Grove
Trains.
at Trinity. And that was
Trinity.
Zelma. Gosh, I had to quite Sherry.
Zelma. She married and Zelma married twice, didn't she?
She married Glenn first.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, yeah.
And she married Mr. Shaver.
She,
Uh-huh. Well, isn't that sweet? Your mother was an awfully pretty woman. How old a woman did your mother live to be?
I think she was in the 80s.
Oh, she lived a long time. And how long did Mr. Whitlow live?
He was up there.
Oh, so were you very close to them? Was he a good father to you kids?
But I never
You didn't really live with him to know, did you?
I was in the army when they got married and then they come back with him.
Grandma Whitlow was born in 1867 and died in 1953. She was 86 years old.
86. Well, I declare.
Zell was born October 21st, 1890. She died February 26, 1976, age 86.
Sounds good, mother. What about her? What about the other ones?
And
Go ahead and read the other
I don't
You don't have the other ones on there.
Grant Bell's about 85 now.
Yeah, she's
She
85.
just told her age just a couple months ago.
Has she been down here lately?
It's been a good while since she's down here. When was the last one?
It was sometime this summer, I believe, wasn't it?
Last summer.
See, her husband's my relatives, and they used to be at the family reunion, and she was the neatest little thing. And wasn't he a handsome man? Luther was a fine-looking man, big man. And that's Grandpa Loing.
That's John Loy.
Uh-huh.
And he was born October 7th, 1866. Died May 11th, 1954, age 87.
He was born the same year as my Grandpa Si. I bet they went to school together, too.
He did too.
Uh-huh.
And my mother was born February the 8th, 1871. She died September the 20th, 1943, 72 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, now, Miss Florence, she was, let me think, she was the McCall, wasn't she?
Yeah. Laura Jean McCall.
Well, now, where was she raised?
Would you call it Paul Creek?
It's down kind of in front of old Pleasant Grove.
Okay, I think I know where you're talking about then.
Back down.
Where you
Well, when we lived on Chapman Street, when we first moved back here, Daddy said the old McCall place was back in such and such a direction.
Well, it is way back in there, but
And I assumed that that's it.
I have to pass Jim McCall's, I guess, and go back in there. How would you
I
pass?
think you can go to the Pleasant Grove, Pleasant Grove Road, go to the Plank Road and turn to the right and go out 2 blocks, 1 block. I think it's a street that runs way back in.
Circles.
It's James down, though. I don't know hardly
Pretty close
anything.
to the places.
That's where I lived, and that's what Daddy said. It was kind of back that direction, and I thought that must be your people, but I wasn't sure. Who were her brothers and sisters? Your mother's brothers and sisters.
Oh, oldest was Sam and Avery and Walter. Is that all?
I was half brother.
Huh?
I was half brother. Sam, John McCall,
John McCall was a half brother.
David McCall, Walter McCall, Ozzy McCall.
Wasn't there
Half brothers.
wasn't there a Bard?
Well, that was
was
mother's, I forget, she's the oldest brother.
His Bard, and he was Bard. Was that all Bard and the other
That's
one?
all I know for Bard, I guess that's what his name, but they call him Bard all the time.
Did he stay around here?
He was in Morton,
Oh, he was. Uh-huh.
and all I can remember about him being up there, he'd come down and visit Mom and them, but I can't remember, I just.
Just so long ago. Mm-hmm. Well, do you remember your grandmother McCall?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where's she buried? Paul Creek?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. What about your grandpa McCall?
Well, as far as I know, I guess you'd call all of Paul Creek, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What were their names?
I don't know, my mother's mother, I don't know. I don't even know what her name was, but her stepmother was Ellen.
Oh, Ellen McCall. Uh-huh.
What was your grandfather's name?
Jim.
Jim.
Jim McCall. Uh-huh. I think I've seen their graves at Paul Creek, if I'm not mistaken. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what was you've been taught? What was your uncles and aunts on your father's side? Your father's brothers and sisters, and that was about 10 or 12 of them.
You want me to name all of them?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't think I can't remember one of them. I tried to name Jeff this morning. Aunt Mander and Aunt Ellen and Aunt Margie, we called her Margie, I think her name is Margaret. And Aunt Noli, Aunt Manda, and Aunt Sudie, and Aunt Addie. And there's one that I can't think of, that married Henry Hoover, and I can't think of her name.
And
And brothers was Jim and Sam and Tom. That's all, I guess.
Well, now, who did they marry? Who did Tom marry?
He didn't marry. I don't think he was married.
Retired.
He was retarded. And what about Sam? Did he marry?
Well, he married his wife is named Aunt Lizzie.
Lizzie Long.
Huh?
She was Long.
Oh, she was. Was she a widow of some other loin, or was she born a loin?
She was Jim Long. Frank
Jim
Long.
Lloyd's sister.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Uncle Jim, he married Ivy Banfield.
Oh, yeah, of course, I know about that.
And Uncle
Uncle
Sam.
Sammy, he married twice. He left his first family and went down to Paisley.
Uh-huh.
Married again, lived down there several years before he went over.
Well, I declare.
He had
He
pretty
married a
good
woman down there named
family.
Addie, but I don't know what her last name was.
What became of the wife he left? Did she marry somebody else?
No, she raised a family up there.
Well, I declare. Wasn't any such thing as divorce back then, was there?
I said things just happened back there just like they are now.
There's no difference. There really is not. Who did some of the girls marry on that side?
I don't even know.
You just don't know.
Aunt Mandy didn't get married, did she?
Huh?
Did Aunt Mandy get married?
Oh yeah, she married
She
Uncle Anderson
Ramsey Johnson.
Johnson, and they,
Oh, that's right. They're buried down here at our cemetery.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Aunt Noli, she married John Johnson.
Two brothers.
Yeah.
They were brothers. Uh-huh.
And I don't know the prices over there. I don't know.
Did they marry into the prices?
Right where?
Did they marry into the prices?
I don't know.
Well, now, is that Mr. Charlie Johnson's uncles and uncles that you're talking about that those women married?
No, I
Don't think so.
They lived on on the other side, live in Lincoln County.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh. There's so many Sam Loins, you really have to stop and think to get them straight because there were several of them, you know. It's a little bit confusing until you get the dates on all of them and who they married and what have you. Yeah.
They kept a lot of that stuff had been. But
That's
people
true.
moved about so much back
That's
there
right.
from one place to another.
That's right.
Most of them were sharecroppers and didn't have no
Mm-hmm.
place to call their own.
Right.
To move around.
It was a hard life, wasn't it?
It's like we were, when Dad died, Mother was left with 6 kids, none of them big enough to take care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we just lived about first one, place another one, getting enough work to keep living.
Well, how did she manage? Because what did she do? Wash for people, and did she do that kind of work to rent a place?
Get cotton, whole cotton.
Just whatever they needed done.
Daily work,
Mm-hmm.
what she could get.
Mm-hmm.
I said, we think we have a hard time now, and we don't know anything.
No, we
I
don't.
say, just go and have water and turn it on, then part of the time, people had care from springs.
I know what.
And at the end, they had a well, had to draw it up, and this hard,
That firewood stuff. But you know, at the time, you didn't think it was hard, did you? Because it was a way of life.
We used to do another little old house where Mitch, you know where Mitch lived?
Uh-huh.
We lived there.
You all did?
We had to,
Oh.
I cut woods and I was around 14, 15 years old. Over on that hill, one of the carvers to build a house.
Is that right?
I had to cut and carry all the wood.
Oh, that was while you were living with
Mama.
your mother. Is it? What, did you move from up there to Spurrier Place down to the Mitch house?
No, we lived several different, short deal time with each place.
Mm-hmm.
Did your mother get married when you were down at Shuffletown, or no?
No, she was living in town.
Well, where did you move after you moved from Shuffletown?
I believe we moved up there where Mitch lived.
Mm-hmm. Whose old place was that?
Belonged to Mr. Troutman back then.
Uh-huh, but it was an awful old place before that even, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That looked like an awful old house to me.
Mr. John Walsh used to live there too.
They did? Uh-huh. Well, now, Jeff mentioned that you lived at a what, Henderson? Or
Right.
Hutchinson?
No, lived somewhere where some Hutchisons live now.
Or is that where Mr. Jim Hutchison and Miss Lou lived?
No,
Theodore used to live down below the church, down in there.
back in the war, that woman kind of went crazy, wasn't it? Back in front of the church, good on there,
Miss Blanchett, back in there.
Blanchett,
Blanchet's lived.
same
Uh-huh.
same house. That was after I got far forward married.
Mm-hmm.
I got up big enough. Mother ran the crop
And you did the farming.
down the farm. I lived there. Mr. Taylor, Go Taylor's daddy. About 4 years I lived and worked the crop there when I was about 13, 14 years old.
Is that right? Was he? Do you mean that he was living at that Hutchison place then?
Hmm.
Oh, you just thought you lived with him. Did you live with him when he lived up here at the old store?
I lived in a little house. Right where Austin lives, I never spent time.
Oh, yeah.
And then I lived in a little house right off of Simpson Road back down in the Fort Crop from Mr. Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
sharecropper.
Mm-hmm.
who fell on with him.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Everybody did that, didn't they? Yeah. Well, when you lived at that place where Miss Blanchette lived, were Mame and them still at the Puckett place?
So,
They had already left there. Oh, that's right. Mr. Leo's house was built long before that, wasn't it?
yeah.
Who was living at the Puckett place back then? Do you remember?
But I was quite on Puckett Land.
Was the house still there at that time?
As a year before I went to college,
Oh, was it? Uh-huh. I bet it's pretty back in there, isn't it?
we moved from there down south. Paul got married and I went down there.
Uh-huh. Was your mother have a better life in later years?